Everybody, and welcome to WOR Round 3 for Season 19. We are in Singapore this week for Tier 5. I'm joined this week by my returning co-commentator, Callisto. Say hello to everybody.
Hello everyone, I'm glad to be back, ready for the rest of the season now. I should be here, so I'm ready to get going.
All good. So we expect to go to round 17 today. Around a track with many walls, so expect many safety cars and see.
We don't have full zone on this game because it got introduced in this year, but they didn't have it ready in time for the game because they only announced it after the game came out. So
Yeah, it was quite a last minute thing, so I mean they'll probably put it in the next update or so, but for now we're stuck with 3. It's a tight twisty track, so lots of close racing, lots of slipstreaming. There's everyone in this game until they eventually fix it, which they might be doing soon, apparently. So
maybe, but we never know.
There are rumours. There are leaked files. They might be doing something. So, but at this point, is it just a lost cause? So.
I mean, if at this point you'd assume so, especially if it doesn't work. But
if it doesn't work, then just give up.
Yeah, well, see you in 25, everyone. So I'm excited though for the racing though, because luckily we've got a season where the slipstream isn't going to be just a constant. It does take a lot of skill. Like, we've got majority of the tracks where the DRS trains are not as prominent, so that is a good sign for this season.
You say that we got Las Vegas next.
Yeah, that's very true. But we've got tracks like Singapore and Netherlands, so it's better than what we had season 4, where it was like when we've had like Monza, we've had like Monza and Spa where they're constant DRS trains. At least tracks like Singapore, you have a chance to get away a little bit, even though now in this game you don't have those 4 corners in Sector 3 that they've taken away under the bridge.
Yeah. I think it's better, but
yeah, I personally do. I think it's done a lot, especially in real life. It's done a lot more for the racing in general. Obviously, in game we weren't as affected because dirty air was minimalised even on previous games. But even more so on this game. So we're still gonna see great racing no matter what happens, whether it's got dirty air, not whatever track we are. So that's what's going to be interesting. We've got a fairly tight championship battle. We've got, in that sense, 10 points at the moment. I know we're only 2 races in, but we've seen with a lot of peers that one driver can easily just pull away, especially in previous seasons. So it's good that we've already had a couple different race winners, and it seems fairly close in terms of pace, I do believe.
Well, yeah, you look at the top 3 had the top 3 who all top 3 in the first race, but came 9th for 11th, and then Alexis Muir DNF'd, so it just shows how quickly it can turn around. The only ones who've been consistent so far are the mid-runners, like Sally Dennis came 5th and 6th, Easton's came 7th and 5th, could have had more, Donax 8th and 4th, so it can change week by week.
Yeah, absolutely. Because as we know in F1 games and real life racing, consistency is key. So, if we saw this with Oxcu last season in Tier 4, he was one of the quickest. He was easily the quickest, qualifying at 6 poles, 5 more than anyone else, I think. But in the races, he was not consistent at all. He was the fastest man by far on track. He was absolutely. And he lost the title because he just wasn't consistent enough. He was up and down the order a lot. He didn't really have that consistency. Whereas Manlike, who was his title rival, won the title just through purely being up front all the time.
Yes, consistency is the main thing. If you win poles at I don't want to call them meaningless on this game, but they don't have anywhere near as much weight as they used to on games
Oh yeah,
before. 'Cause you can't break away unless you get a good start and they all battle behind you.
yeah. Quite honestly, if you're P1, you would need a perfect start, have two get a mid start, and P3 get an almighty start as well. Make sure all they're battling to turn one, and but even then, that's often quite unlikely to happen. You just need to be a lot of the time. You just need to be pure lucky of when they start fighting and who's fighting really, because some people don't even fight that hard. Some people just lose position to regain ERS and fuel. So it's quite a hard thing to do to pull away, especially on this game.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, they might fix it, but as it is at the moment, it's just makes it racing very close, which you could argue is a good thing, could argue is a bad thing, but as it is, you can't break away. It's basically a DRS train the whole race, and you can easily just DRS it up to 108, if someone does break away. So
It's it's close for the wrong reasons. That's
yeah.
what it is. It's
It,
not close.
it reminds me actually of watching. I think it's Formula E this year. Of just they all just sat around because no one wants to lead because you can't save battery. So everyone just sits behind the slipstream and then goes for it on the last 2 laps.
Yeah, that's pretty much exactly what happens. At the end of the day, unless there's no one. At least here, at least if you can at least pull away a little bit. But even then, people like if you're leading, do you really want to spend that time pulling away, burning your tyres, and then risking falling back to that DRS train later on, or do you just want to sit behind, take your time, and then just put it out the bag in the last lap or two?
Yep. So we got cars on track straight away here. 15 drivers, not quite as many as expected, but might have a couple more joining after qualifying. First one up is WOR Pro at the front of the queue in the Haas. So we had Alex Ramirez take pole last week in Kota. He is not here this week, so expecting a possible new pole sitter. Everyone out on track straight away, apart from CRF1 Eason, who has said, I think last week said, he doesn't qualify particularly high. He only goes for one lap right at the end and then focuses mainly on race pace.
Yeah, I think that's what we'll see with a lot of drivers. We will see some drivers, they really focus their setup towards race pace, because as like we say, pole is not as important. It's probably the least important game to get pole on, even even more so than in Formula E basically. So it's quite easy. Just say, yeah, let's not bother about quality. I can start 15th. I can hope for a few crashes, maybe a safety car, and then I'll end up P1 later on. So we'll see how the drivers do. We'll obviously see many names continue just to push flat out no matter what. As we see already, the RB of Flavio Lozzi immediately invalidating his time. So drivers will be trying to find the limits if they want that pole position to their name. Make their life a little bit easier for themselves.
You've also got the thing on this track I've noticed is I played F123 earlier this week, and you can really attack the curbs on this year's game a lot more around here. Like you can see, WOR Pro is throwing it around the chicane into the hairpin here. You can almost fully cut turn more, whereas last year that would nearly spin you if you try to do that. So you got to take every advantage of track limits you can get around here. I mean, some of them still, like you come to the end of the chicane here, at the end of the last straight, that you can still bottom out on, but most of them you can go almost fully over and get away with.
Which is kind of the opposite of what they were trying to do really here in this game, because they were trying to actually make the curves quite harsh and everything, and then they never had done so. Bommel Pro with a 26.7 as the banker for everyone to beat in their first runs. We've got a Red Bull of, I believe, Yelmer. Yeah, Yelmer up to the line. He does a 27.2, followed by his teammate of Tropic coming around the final couple of corners up to the line and does a 27.3. About 6 tenths off what the Haas done, as everyone comes flying through now, followed by I believe the Alpine of Neon, who's starting a lap, kicks Albert of Mafio, takes a provisional pole position by 26.6, half a tenth quicker than the Heart of Bumble, and then immediately gets it taken away with a 26.4 by Diamond Miner and Aston Martin. So it's already the times that are coming down, and we're starting to see some very spread out lap times, I'd say, considering. But it's the first lap, so people are still adjusting to the track, of course.
Yeah, obviously, I mean, there might be rain for the race as well, we don't know, so they might have higher downforce setups. There already is a higher downforce setup, but possibly max wings if it is that, but at the moment we got people improving rapidly. The gap already half a second. It's second to from first to seventh. But that top three is pretty close still, and we got the faster drivers. You got Neon, who's championship leader, obviously still yet to do a lap. Morg still yet to do a lap. So let's see how that goes. Neon's actually invalidated as he comes through the final sector here. So
yeah,
eyes on his team at the moment, CRF1 Eastern, who has gone out a bit earlier than he did last week. So we'll see if qualifying early as his style. He saved a lot of battery for these final two straights here. Purple middle sector possibly, though we don't know if that's accurate or not. It comes out onto the final straight here. What would be a DRS in real life. Got Aston Martin just ahead of him. Look, we shouldn't cause too many distractions. Comes into the pits. Easton now towards the final two corners. Around board with him. Attacks the first curve, drifts it out wide, goes 4 faster with 26.8. See what more can do now in the kick. Sauber does a 26.7, but invalidates. So that would have put him just behind Bumble Pro.
Yeah. So what we'll probably see is it's quite surprising, really, how easy it is to invalidate around here. You've obviously got the first 3 corners where you fly as fast as you can over the turn 1 curve. You can easily cut turn 2 by the skin of your teeth. So it's kind of like you're really playing with fire in these first couple of corners. And then you've got the exit of turn 5, where you want to try and get as far to that white line as possible to maximise your exit speed. But it's so easy just to tap that white line and just come off the circuit. So even though it's a street circuit and the walls are tight, there's a few places that can easily catch you out around here and just make you, like, not just even qualify in the race, you could get warnings and penalties so quickly. And some of the drivers who are much less track limit prone will certainly reap the walls, especially around here.
Yeah, I'm watching Flavio here on a lap. He's already tapped the wall coming out of turn 4, and then he's really attacking almost every curb, going flat across. I can see why he invalidated his first lap, because he's flinging the back end around. This time looks like it clips the curb a bit too much there, gets a bit wear on the rear end into the hairpin. Does hit the wall on the inside and goes into the wall on the outside, breaking his front wing, so not ideal. Some very dark smoke there after the update this week.
That's the new update, it's dark smoke now.
But it's supposed to be better visibility, but from what I've seen on the WOR Twitter account, it's not much different to what it was before.
Consider it the fog of war now. So, but we've seen with the RB in the first lap, he's seemingly pushing to the point where, and he's going for another lap. I'm not sure why. He's got damage, but never mind. He comes into the pits, cuts across the entry. That's a bit stupid. But oh well. You've seen him already push a bit too hard. He's getting to the point now where he needs to just get a lap in, because otherwise it's going to cost you. Some people will just invalidate their final runs. So you need to get a lap in. If you can get a lap in at 95%, 90%, great. Someone's gonna make a mistake in their final runs, and you're gonna get that extra position.
Yeah, you've seen Bushy Pancakes and Dornax just go 6 and 7 for both with 26.9. Who does the spinning Red Bull in the final sector as well. We got Mafia on a lap as he tries to retake provisional pole position. He's got 2 tenths to find the down mile. Lots of cars on that south side. There's Gelmo, Tropic, Morgan, Neon championship leader, looking for a turnaround in form after last week to return to the front. to hopefully maintain his championship league. 'Cause he's not
Ooh,
got the biggest gap anymore. Two
that's,
Brushy Pancakes, and it's still a 9-point gap, but there's 2 drivers tied on that point. You got Alex Henares as well in the Mercedes. Mafio 12 points behind. It's 3 cars,
got to
9
say
points
that
behind.
I'd just like to say Neon isn't the one leading because the championship table that you're in the sheets isn't actually resorted. It's actually Pedro Breton on 37 points, so he's 10 points ahead of Neon. Just see, like, unfortunately, I did see like 5 minutes before the stream. I was like, the championship table has not been sorted properly in like reordering. So,
Oh, yeah, I guess that points there, yeah.
it's currently Pedro in the Mercedes, currently P4. P4 man is leading standings. So it'd be interesting to see whether he maintains that lead, but he's not here tonight, or whether Neon or Brushy Pancake or someone else comes back here later, comes back here and takes the championship lead later on.
You had some more laps come through. The top 3 now, all within just over half a tenth of Mafia Bomber Pro, try and chase down Diamond Miner. So it's all very close at the top. Easton about to start his lap. Spinders is on a lap, but not improving into the final sector. Tropic also not improving. OP Ferry's just starting his lap, so we'll see how he does. It's his first lap. He's invalidated his first one, so we'll see how this goes. He makes his way through the middle sector now towards the old Singapore Sling Chicane. Got a few cars just ahead of him. Wants to attack that initial curve, trying to cut it though. His right hander. Don't use that curve on the left into the hairpin now. Clip the inside wall. Makes it very nice. Here's a car weaving ahead to Williams of Alexis Muir. 1.125. Goes very deep. It just about avoids the wall. Onto the final straight here. Over the bumps of Williams weaving around ahead of him. Hopefully not causing too much distraction. Gets in the way a bit into the braking zone though. Decides to back off in the end, but into the final 2 corners now. OP Fail cuts a lot of that first bit, but gets away with it. Comes across lines as a 27.2. It's like his last, but he's only just behind Jelma ahead as Jelma's retired. He's going to the wall in the middle sector. Not sure what's happened there. So he's just locked up, I'm guessing.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for the Red Bull. He wasn't exactly doing great in his first lap, so at the moment it's looking likely that he will be down in last place, assuming that the Aston Martin and the 4 drivers behind improve or set a time that's better even. We saw the Aston Martin though, he did make up a massive lock-up at the start of Sector 3. So, like you called it earlier on. So, he definitely has a lot of time in that.
Flavio,
in that.
fastest 26.0. 4 tenths quicker than the others behind. That's a big gap to pull on his first proper flying lap. He invalidated his first one, but that's might even be good enough for pole. He might be able to save a set of tyres if he's confident enough in that.
Yeah, that's a very good time. That's quite shocking considering how much he's been pushing. Though it's the fact that he's finally managed to nail a lap. The length he's attacking some of those curbs. It's going to be very, very difficult to beat a 26.0, even with track improvement. We're going to see Alexis Mudra in the Williams climb to P5, just about 5.5 tenths off of the pole position time as the Williams sits in P5. We've got Easton who's coming into the pits now, so our next person coming up to the line.
I think they're on outlaps now, I think.
Dornax is on the lap.
Brushy Pancakes on the lap.
So we've got 2 drivers currently on the lap. Dornax coming up to the final chicane. He's currently about over 4 tenths up as we headed out sector 2. Coming up to the line now. He hasn't got much ERS left, so he's going to be not have to worry about too much. It's a very short run to the line, and he gets P5 26.495 as we head now to Brushy Pancake in the Mercedes, who has backed off now
Yeah,
I'm not exactly sure what happened there.
he had a lock-up coming into at the end of the main straight there. Went quite deep. I don't think he lost too much time for it, but I'm guessing it was enough to lose his improvement on the Delta. So we got drivers now just starting laps. We got Solidaris, Morg, Tropic. Neon is out on his out lap. As he looks there. Yeah, he'll only have time for one lap, I'd imagine. Unless he's got fuel for two. We'll have a look. He has. I think he's only got fuel for one lap, so that is it for him. If he can't get this lap in, he will start 15th. But Tropic now, the first one of the final runners, coming into the old Sling chicane here, attacking that first curve, takes it nice and steady, uses a good amount of curve for the second part. It's a steady lap, might not be attacking the limits to go pole, but it's a solid lap nonetheless. He just about controls the rear end on the exit here, down the straight. 3/10 improvement in the middle sector. He comes onto the final long straight, using battery all the way down the right hand side, pulling to the left. Compromises his entries to the corner a little bit, but he should still improve here. Into the final two corners now. Time is going to be a 1:26.7. That puts him P8, so a good improvement. He hasn't got fuel to do on a lap, so that is him done.
Yeah, so we've got a couple drivers throwing around for probably their final laps now. Neon in the Alpine, our second place man in the championship, who hasn't set a lap yet, is currently on one. He's heading through sector 2 now. He's trying to push every single limit as possible. Shoots over the curve, does an absolutely excellent job to not invalidate there. Into the hairpin now, darts from the right into the left through the hairpin. Bumble 26.0, that's a very good lap from him. Tops RB by 4 thousandths of a second. Can Neon go faster? He's heading down now through sector 3, heading towards the final chicane. Can the Alpine go into there? He brakes at about 100 metres, into the hairpin, down to 4th gear, through the final chicane, up the gears now. No ERS left, it's now just pure power to the line, through the final part, flat out, and he goes P7, 26.5.
Yeah, I hope for more than that. He was a couple of tenths down in the middle sector from what I saw. The other big snap there. We've had Spinders in the wall. Neon's now in the wall. Spinders in the wall at the hairpin. Guessing he's clipped it, which is then taking his wheel. Sally Dennis went P4. Well, that was happening. Mafio, I don't think he's not improving. I don't think he's got time to do another lap, so this might be. I think he might just have time if he can get around quickly. He will just have time for another lap. So Easton has just started his lap. Ferry has started his lap. He made a mistake on. He was already up in the first sector, so he might gain some positions out of this. Flavio has come out for a final lap. He's leading the train into the final sector, so we'll go to CRF1 Easton. He's the first one on a lap now. 20 seconds left in the session. Easton attacks the chicane through the middle sector, missing the apex a little bit as he comes into the hairpin. It's a nice steady exit. We'll use the battery down the next two straight. Sally Dennis retires in the pit lane. He's stuck in P4. Exodus Muhar invalidates and will stay 8th. He's now battery all the way down the back straight into the final chicane. Now OP Ferry goes 12 faster, but 26.8. Can Easton get anywhere near the top of the timings with this lap? Comes like to 26.3, goes 5th fastest. That's a good start. Flavio started his lap. Dornax has invalidated. Diamond Miner is on a lap. Morg's on a lap. Bushy Pancakes is on a lap. So first up is Flavio, and he's 2 tenths down the middle sector. He's got a lot of time. Miner gets very wayward coming out of the hairpin there. So it's an all or nothing final chicane for Flavio here. Goes very deep and spins as well into the wall. And that's his qualifying over and done with. So we turn to Brushy Pancakes. Through the final corner, he's 3/10 up. Can he get anywhere near? Goes 7th fastest. Dorlax invalidated. Morg now through the final corner. Diamond Miner goes fastest with 25.8. Morg goes 4th, just ahead of his teammate with 26.0. And that is the final order.
That was an excellent lap from the Aston Martin of Diamond Miner right there. He absolutely smashed that lap. 10th and a half over anyone else over that, actually. Flavio, unlucky crash of me right in there, but I was so focused on the Aston Martin lap. Very good job from the Scotsman as we head into a 15-car Singapore Grand Prix for Tier 5.
Yep, that's who we're on for there. Diamond Miner, pole position. Bombo Pro in 2nd place. Flavio 3rd. Morg 4th. Muffio 5th. Sides 6th. Easton 7th. Bushy Pancake 8th. Donax 9th. Neon 10th. Alexis 11th. Tropic, Ferry, Spindes. And I can't see who's last there, but whoever you are, I'll remember you at some point. So that is...
It'll be Yelma.
Yep. So that is us done for qualifying. We'll have a lobby restart now. Well, retire before the race gets underway. So we'll see you in a few minutes' time. Everyone, welcome back to Singapore for round 3 of WOR season 19. We have a 15 car race over 31 laps to come. Put the track map again. Race. We got on through the grid once again. We got Diamond Miner in the Aston Martin on pole position, WOR Pro P2, Flavio in P3, Morg 4th, Maffeo followed by Sally Dennis 5th and 6th, Easton 7th, Bushy Pancake and Donax 8th and 9th, Neon 10th, Alexis Murat 11th, Tropic 12th, Ferry 13th, Spendez 14th, and Jelma last in 15th place.
So I've just seen that from a couple of the drivers in the Discord. It apparently will rain.
It will rain. Oh. Well, it didn't come up last week that it would rain, so I don't know if I trust it anymore. But even the game mode doesn't seem to know what it's doing, so I don't know if I should believe it anymore. But if it is meant to rain, then that throws a whole nother scenario into the mix of, does anyone have a wet setup? I assume it wouldn't.
Think at this stage.
It shouldn't be too different.
Yeah, I don't think anyone at this stage will really go for a wet setup because you've got half the race or so, I believe, doing hard tyres. That's why everyone, if you're on race director, most people have gone to hards because they've realised it's going to rain, but there's no point. They might stick on the hards, go as long as it can till it rains, and then go into the finish or something. So we'll have to wait and see if that works. Every single one of them, apart from Yelma, is on the hards now. So it'll be unless it was their strategy anyway. But
well, anyway, we're about to get underway here for WR round 3 in the Singapore Grand Prix. Lights go out and we are underway. It's a decent start from WOR Pro in second place. Trying to go up the inside of the Aston Martin. Can he get his way up the inside? Just about hangs on, makes a bit of contact as well. Flavio trying to get involved in third place. WOR Pro knocked down second place. Morg has got ahead of Flavio as they head round through turn 4. McLaren hits the wall as well. Smoke kicked out from behind. Alpine of Neon Pro trying to get past Dornax for 7th place. Almost 3 wide in the background. Can they all make it through? They do just for now. There's a car off the track as the Williams of Alexis Murat just about rejoins the Red Bulls, getting involved in it as well. A Dynamite just about hanging on to the lead up front, but is under heavy pressure already from WOR Pro as Morg tries to go up the inside of Flavio into the sling. Can't quite find a way through. His teammate now trying to get involved behind, as is CR-F1 Easton into the hairpin. As I think about it, up the inside, Easton has a look, a bit of a snap as well for Maffeo. Contact in the background as Dornax goes flying wide. Oh, but in contact as well with the Alpine. Sally Dennis goes up the inside into the straightaway, and here we go. Batteries now deployed. They head towards the final chicane. Here comes Morg round the outside of Flavio into the chicane. Can he make it stick? Gets pushed wide. And his teammate now might sense an opportunity. He does sense an opportunity. Maffeo into the final corner now. Round the outside. Does take the place from Morg. And that was a chaotic opening lap. The top 2 have fully broken away here. So
yeah, absolutely.
Oh, Flavio's made a mistake by the looks of it. He's ghosted through Maffeo. And now Morg sees his chance to go around the outside. Oh, he's gone back through Maffeo as well. Oh, there's a McLaren sideways of Sally Dennis there. Who's going to come out on top here? The Sauber doesn't have DRS. Flavio does, but he's still ghosting through him. Finally pulls ahead by enough to take the place, but as Neon gets past Bushy Pancake, this has been a chaotic opening 2 laps here.
Yeah, it's been very chaotic. We saw a lot of drivers colliding, almost spinning. It's just no little grip on these hards in the opening couple of laps. With everyone on them, they're really struggling for grip. We saw that with Flavio. He was really struggling in a couple of the corners, especially on the opening lap. Diamond Miner and Bumble had their own sort of battle going on, a bit of a collision in turn 3. They're both very lucky to get away with it and have pulled a massive gap. But Mafio is now right on the back of the RB of Flavio behind, in front of him. Morg has dropped back a little bit now, relieving his teammate of a little bit of pressure. But for how long? As Flavio goes a bit deep there on entry, but he got away with that a little bit for now. As we head into lap 3, and the top 2 are leading by 3.2 seconds. But the chaos behind them, they wouldn't even know about as we go into the first couple of corners now. Meanwhile, they're going to go side by side for the lead, I've just seen. As Bumble tries to go around the outside into turn 4, it doesn't make it stick. But he's going to have DRS now, down the straight, into turn 5. Can he make the move stick into 6? Yes, he does, as Diamond Miner has to concede. Meanwhile, Mafio has jumped up 2P3 as Flavio has dropped behind him. But this fighting.
Oh, there's a car in the wall.
And Mafio's out. Mafio's out. And that is absolutely crucial for the race, as luckily for the top 2, there is not an actual safety car, so the gaps remain stagnant. But Diamond Miner has lost out a fair chunk to Bumble. I don't know if it happened before or after the VSC was called, but if it was before, that's given Bumble a fairly large gap.
Yeah, I'm not sure what happened there. It looked like he just clipped the wall on the outside of the corner, but he's managed to rip his whole wheel off while leaving his front wing intact, so it must have been a relatively big hit for that to happen, but either way, that then opens the podium spot back up to Flavio, and Morg now left to carry the team for the Constructors' Championship's sake. With, we got drive-through penalties at the end of the VSC there. 3 cars, Flavio, Morg and Easton. So now Dornax will now move up into P3, and that just extends the gap further for the top 3 as they all file in to serve their drive-through penalties now. Dornax has got up 6 places since the opening lap now. Neon up 5, lots of cars up 5. Flavio, Morg and Easton down 8, 8 and 6 respectively. And that's when they're saying there probably won't be a pit stop before the rain. That could cost them a lot of time.
Yeah, unfortunately for them, now all over the safe VSC Delta, just at the wrong time. Now all together as well. So I assume Morgan Easton were following Flavio, and it all kind of just had a Constantina effect there. But Dornax, Salia, Dennis, and Neon are now fighting for P3 as opposed to, what was it, P6? They were fighting over. So these 3 are absolutely going to take that. Same with the top 2. So now we're going to continue on. The battle for P3 rages on. Salia Dennis is going to try and make a move over the bridge. Can he make a send up the inside? He doesn't. He thinks about it, but doesn't make anything of it. He taps the rear end of the RB, but he doesn't cause him any sort of hassle. As he opens up the DRS now, down towards the end of sector 2 and into turn 14. Now, there's no DRS here on the game, so it's just going to have to be pure slipstream, straight line speed, and a bit of skill with your ERS management. Nothing the McLaren could do there, as he sits behind and waiting for the right opportunity on to overtake the RB, who cuts the final corner a little bit on the first part of it. So he has got to be careful there of getting warnings as we go onto lap 5 into the first couple corners.
I think Action can't keep up this much surely for 31 laps, but at the moment it's producing some great racing aside. There's almost in the wall there after he clips the curb. The battle at the front still continuing with Diamond Miner now having the fastest lap. Can't quite get past Bomber on this lap. Salides thinks about it on Dornax, but can't find any way through the into the middle sector here. Salides still trying out through. Spinders gets past OP Ferry behind. Fishy Pancake all over the back of Tropic as well in the next group behind these guys. So the field spread out quite a lot more than it normally would due to the VSC and all the collisions we saw. And Salides gets almost sideways there coming towards the hairpin. There's a lot of time 2 Dornites, but catches it up again relatively quickly. Is now down. Straight we go once again. Can Sally Dennis get anywhere near to the RB? Not at this stage. Bommel Pro still clinging onto the lead over Diamond Miner at this stage, which obviously we don't know when the rain's going to come, so that might prove to be crucial as they come through the final chicane. Now Sally Dennis will try and close back up. He's got a lot of battery, 76% as opposed to 21% for Dornax. Bommel Pro sets the fastest lap out in the lead. Sally Dennis does have to watch Neon behind. He's as Dornax is very wayward there out of turn 2. That allows Sally Dennis to close right up towards the back of him as they come onto the first DRS zone here. You can get a good exit, you might be able to have a run at him towards the end of the straight. He's got overtake on. He's gaining the slipstream now. Pulls to the inside. Dornax doesn't decide to fight it, and Sally Dennis easily makes his way to the inside. Dornax has to try and fight back on the outside, but can't get close enough, and that's Sally Dennis up to P3. Let's see if he's able to pull any sort of gap to get Neon ahead of Dornax. By this stage, it's the McLaren who is into the podium places for the first time.
Yeah, the McLaren of Sally Dennis doing an absolute stupendous job to get there. We see Neon had a little bit of a gap fallback just after the VSC to the 2 in front of him. However, with these two having a little battles here and there, little skirmishes across the previous lap or 2, Neon has caught back up now as we head down towards the end of the 6th lap of this race. This is only lap 6, and there's already been so much that's happening. But on the topic actually of the wet weather, if it was supposed to come at the end of the hard stint and it was going to be very borderline, that VSC would be coming quite handy for people who are a bit more conservative on their tyres because they know, or a bit more aggressive on their tyres, sorry, because then that means that they do not have to worry so much about the tyre wear. But it depends when it's coming. We don't know. Alex Mundra has a 3-second time penalty now as we head down the first DRS straight now once more as we head through the flat out turn 5 and into turn 6. There's nothing Dornax could do there. He's too far back, but the gap I think is starting to spread out a little bit there. Meanwhile, further behind, we've got Brushy Pancakes having to defend from the Red Bull of Tropic, who goes down the inside into the corner, but also has the Ferrari of Spinders up around the outside, which turns to the inside for the following corner, and he makes the move stick as the Red Bull might lose not just 1 but 2 places here as Ferry looks to try and make a move but could not manage to do it and has to concede back to sitting behind the Red Bull's rear wing once more. But that all kicked off very quickly. It went from a move on Brushy from Trocket to being overtaken by the Ferrari. Dornax now makes a move before at the end of Sector 2, start of Sector 3, on Sally Dennis for a final podium spot. Sally Dennis looking to make a comeback but can't do anything about it as we head into the final chicane and onto the end of lap 7. There is a yellow flag for Alexis Mundra in the Williams in Sector 2. He seems to have got it going again, but luckily for the top runners, there's no sort of safety car.
Yeah, a lot of people in that group, Brushy Pancakes, Spinners, Tropic, all had damage to their front wing, so I'm not sure if something's happened at the safety car restart. Possibly a Spinners goes up the inside of Brushy Pancakes into turn 1. But yeah, all of these guys with one end plate missing. So I think Ferry's actually in the best position here, since he's the only one without damage. And Spinners obviously also with track limits penalty, so Ferry is in a good spot here as we got another yellow in Sector 2. It's a McLaren. It's Sally Dennis who's gone round at the start of Sector 2. Not sure what's happened there as Moore gets past Joma. Sally Dennis now down to 5th and is out of the podium battle. Neon's managed to get up into 3rd place, as Dornax now gets a penalty as well. As we got retirement in the pits for Alexis Muir, and that is his race done after that spin in the middle sector. The gap up front has expanded slightly. We've got 8/10 gap between Bommel Pro and Diamond Miner. As Flavio picks up a penalty for track limits. He's pitted onto medium tyres at the back. He's dropped 30 seconds behind this field Easton and Jelmo have almost caught up to the back of the field now. They've been battling that hard.
Oh, Neon's just had a massive slide through the final corner, and he's dropped the position to Dornak. Sorry for cutting in there, but Neon has dropped down from podium spot back down to P4, and unfortunately for him, has dropped 1.7 seconds behind and out of DRS. So that's opening up once more for Dornak. Unfortunately for him, having that penalty means it won't matter anyway.
Oh.
But Neon,
Safety car.
Mare.
Safety car. Flavio's in the wall at the hairpin. Not sure what's happened. He must have gone straight on, but now, what do they do in terms of strategy? Is the rain coming soon enough for a change to mediums or even soft tyres? What do they do here? It's, you think you'd have to pit for mediums, otherwise you're a sitting duck out there. But how long is the rain away? It must surely be in the first 2/3 of the race, you'd imagine, if they were trying to get to it. Well, we can't see, so let's see what they do. Bumble Pro is the leader, so he dictates the strategy for the rest of them.
It's the excitement of the unknown for us, really, because we don't actually know when it's going to come. If it's going to come in the next 2 minutes, or it's going to come in the next 20 minutes. So it's all up to what Bumble does now with Diamond Miner, who's actually, both of them have had quite a nice and relaxing race up until this point.
Yeah, they've been battling quite chilled so far.
Yeah, they haven't really had much going on for themselves,
Yeah,
whereas they haven't even known about the cars behind.
They've been swapping positions as Bumble Pro stays out. On his hard tyres, Diamond Miner's into the pits, but almost spins in the pit lane, catching the curb on the inside. Donax is in as well. He's got front wing damage. Neon is in. Donax gets a 10-second penalty for speeding in the pit lane. That's the last thing he wanted. Sally Dennis follows them in after his spin. Spinner's in as well. Diamond Miner goes soft tyres. Inters for Neon. I'm not sure if that's an accident or not, but we've got a whole range of strategies going on here. Lots of cars going to mediums. 2 cars on inters. What is it? It's not raining yet. It's not raining. 3 cars on inters. It's not raining yet. I don't think.
Oh, and Neon almost collects Yelma.
Oh my god.
Coming out of the pit lane as well on the inters.
It's not raining yet. They're just gonna show you they'd cook the tyres, but clearly they know something we don't. If it's meant to heavy rain the next few minutes, but Bumble Pro Jelma have just tried to stay out on their hards. Lots of cars in for mediums, Diamond Miner in for softs. So you'd imagine it's not too far away, but I don't know. It's close enough to switch on to inters already, unless it properly buckets down the next few minutes.
I wouldn't even think to do that here. Like, if it's not for inters, you'll burn very quickly. Even if it's raining, it isn't exactly the tyre life for the two wet weather compounds isn't a tyre as the dry weather compounds of the means and the hot. So it's quite surprising to see that them going on to those inters now, risking their tyres overheating and running out of tyre life towards the end of the race. Yes, it'll give you track position. Yes, the pit lane, it's about a 30-second average. But is it really worth it, especially if it goes rain?
Well, we'll have to see. I still can't see any rain. We got a car in the pits. It's Jelma, who has decided then to bail off his hard tyres. We'll see what tyres he changes onto. The inter runners. Neon stays out on his inters. We got a front wing change and more intermediate tyres for Jelma. So
Surprising.
it must be soon then, if the 4 of them are willing to commit to it. But then you've got guys on soft, Diamond Miner on soft, Bumble Pro staying out on his hards. Lots picking for mediums. It's an interesting one.
It's not even the people who've gone soft, it's the people who've gone mediums who are battling the most. Or even Bumble. Bumble's staying out probably.
Yeah.
But it's the fact that Sally, Dennis, Dornax and Spinders have gone mediums. Do they expect it to take that much longer to get here? The interim. or even a soft runners must be doing going softs to push as hard as they can. It just started raining now.
Yeah, it started raining.
Actually, play for Neon's hand, considering we might get another lap or two, or another lap under safety car.
Yeah, they really are. The gamble on it bucketing down might pay off. The rain doesn't look heavy enough for that. It looks very light at this stage. But we'll see how that evolves. The question now is, will Jelmer catch the field before the end of the lap? You'd imagine he would. He's not too far behind the back of the train. But the Inter runners are gambling on it turning wet at least in the next 2 laps, maximum. Otherwise the tyres will be so worn that it will make almost no difference. Well, so we might actually get another lap of safety car, which would help them.
Alright, we can slow off a little bit just to make sure the safety car does not come in. I don't think it will now. It will not. So they're going to go another lap. And Diamond Miner's coming in.
Oh my God.
Stays out. A couple
got
other
cars
drivers are coming in.
Oh
It's
my
about
gosh.
a bit as one, apart from Spinders and Bomble, who are on dry compound tyres, as well as Trop.
At this point, I think if it is raining that hard, then I think at this point it is worth it. So I'm surprised Bombo yet again has stayed out, because if it does rain heavy enough, then he's not going to make up 25 seconds in a few laps of dry running. The track will obviously have lost grip, and especially on one hards, he's going to lose a lot of time, you'd imagine. So now we've got the majority of the fields on intermediate tyres on a still dry track. Spinders, Tropic stuck to their guns on mediums. Bomber Pro has stayed out on his original hards. So this race could go anywhere now. We don't know how long the rain's gonna be here for. We don't know how heavy it is. It looks relatively light at the moment. We can't see any drops on track at this stage. So I'm intrigued to see how it will evolve once we get the race underway at the end of this lap.
Your Bomble, you really want the race to stay like the most effective track yet. You'll be a little bit brave, but it's fine. But you want to make sure that runners to be quick. You have a massive gap over these guys. Bear in mind, they would have burnt their tyres a little bit more due to them driving around on a drying track. Yes, it's been on the safety car, but they had to catch that safety car, so therefore it will take a bit of time. So we'll take a bit to highlight out of them. Safety car is now in this lap. Bombo leads the way ahead of an of Neon and Spin the media. Interesting. Has Bomble made the right call staying out? Have Indus Topic done the same, or have they misjudged the rain? And we are about to get going once more. Bomble waiting to go. We left and right trying to get some tyre in the tyres as we head to the end. More grip around that final corner. He's got to be careful though as Bomble goes into turn 1. Neon right up the half. He had to be careful there to not go into the back of him. As I don't know if that's just simply the old sort of hard. It just doesn't seem to be too affected. Bomble, a massive amount of oversteer through turn 4. Through the flat out turn 5 now. No DRS as of yet. He's got to do it on pure pace around the outside of the pass. He goes.
Oh.
Track.
Oh my God.
Might be a little bit frustrated there. Bomble absolutely losing ground. He's trying to make a move. Also got a time penalty. He does as Neon tries to go keep the inside. He does defend the position temporarily, but Spin just has enough right now. But Bomble.
Oh.
Bomble, lucky to get a bit of oversteer there, and there's a bit of contact between Clown and Alpine behind. Does not manage to hold on to P4. Does Bomble?
Oh!
OP
Saya Dennis put in the wall. at the end of the straight, and
That's the McLaren. That's a safety car.
another safety car. Well, that's just about spares the ones who were still out on slicks then. But they're going to lose still. The entire field will get past them here. Spinners dives past Neon into the pit lane to get off his medium tyres. Bumble Pro this time does pit, but they're going to be at the back now. So that was probably the worst possible timing for them. And Tropic gets a penalty as well for speeding the pit lane. Rub salt in the wounds. 3 and 12th place. He goes onto another set of slick tyres. But all the rest now are on inters, and some of them have new inters, which might help if they have overheated and worn during under that initial safety car. But I'll give a quick update on penalties. We've got Neon in the lead with a penalty, but he might be able to get that removed on appeal. And we got Jelma, Dornax and Spinders all with 3 seconds. Tropic then just picking up a time penalty of speeding in the pit lane. Look at the weather as well. Still can't see any drops on track. The Int is clearly at least matching the slick tyres at this stage. But Neon has come first from 10th on the grid. Ferry's second from 13th on the grid. So it just shows how fast things can change through the course of 40 laps. We're still not even at half distance yet in this race, as the rain keeps falling. There are now drops on the tracks. We are getting very close to fully wet conditions, at least damp conditions on the track. But now one more lap of safety car. While that happens, Neon will lead the field away on his intermediate tyres. We'll now probably have a wet race throughout the rest of the session.
Based on what the drivers had said in the chat, it seemed like they were going to go hard into anyway. But the safety cars really just put a spanner in the works for some of these drivers like Bumble and Diamond Miner, who are leading by quite a significant margin and are now down in P4 for Diamond Miner, so it isn't completely a lost cause. But Bumble down in P8, who such good pace, and the whole has got devastated because now he's got to go through the field once more. Got to go, and drivers who are not just like decent, they are some of the best drivers in F1 today. So you've got Bumble, who's got to try and go through people of similar pace level as well. But Haas, to make sure it's completely different weather conditions now as well. So it'll be a complete reset of what we know, because some drivers will thrive in these conditions, some people will not, and some people will struggle. So we'll have to see what they do. Neon, though, has that 3-second time penalty with him to carry, so he needs to get away from the Aston Martin of Ferrari and Brushy Pancakes and Mercedes behind him, because otherwise he'll be dropping down the order a fair bit.
Here we got Donax and Jelma in the pits now for fresh inters. I'm guessing they'd overheated. There's the rain really coming down now, as this is pretty much intermediate conditions. This could even become more if I don't know if that's forecast or not, but it looks possibly even heavy rain at this stage. But at the moment, the track will likely have surface water very, very soon. I don't think we're going to get underway this lap, as there's still got our Red Bull of Tropic F1 halfway through the middle sector. That gives more time for the track to get wet.
Yeah, so what we're seeing here is this now, drivers who have had a bit of time on the heaters, they will know what the car's like, going to act like a little bit now. They're going to have a bit of knowledge of that, but they don't know. But they're quite sorry, they don't have as much grip as people who just pitted for tyres now, because they have spent more time on a drier track in the on the inter tyres, which would have again just could have potentially really affect them later on in the race. It probably won't affect them so much now, but later on in the race, when it's even wetter and you need the tyre to have some grip, it just won't give. So we're going to have to see how Neon does. But an excellent job from him and Ferry to get up to the field, and both strategically and just on track as well. They've done so well already, and we're only halfway through the race. We've got still half the race. Anything can happen in the next 15 or so laps as we wait for Tropic, who's also come in once more, as well as Spinders, who also came in.
Yep, we'll try and get the penalties out of the way along with fresh tyres, but Tropic might not even catch the field in time. At this rate, with him being so far back due to that pit stop and penalty. I wonder what the condition of Neon and Ferry's tyres are like, seeing they're the first ones who boxed for into initially under the first safety car. The track now very much intermediate conditions. And then coming to the final straight now, the safety car will be in this lap. And Neon will be the one to lead the field away. Well, he can hound the lead from Ferry, who I imagine wouldn't expect to be in this position going into the second half of the race, but here we are. Neon warming the tyres. The track continues to gain surface water and standing water. When will he go? Safety car is about to be in the pit lane. It is now, so he can now go wherever he wants. He looks like he might even have gone early. He has gone early. He cut the corner a bit there as well. But we are underway once again for the second half of this Singapore Grand Prix. It's been a dramatic race so far. What more drama is there to come? Diamond Miner already on the back of Brishy Pancakes for P3. Down the inside into turn 1. Takes the place. Is now just behind his teammate Ferry. Any other moves through the field doesn't look like it at this stage. Actually, we've got the Sauber of Morg up the inside of CR1 Easton. There's contact there. Hasn't he got some front wing damage? Definitely some carbon fibre went flying there. Not sure which of them got damage. More carbon fibre flying as he touches the back rim once again. Easton will now have a look at Brushy Pancakes. Going to the end of the straight here. Could possibly be a free wire as they come into the braking zone. Has a look to the outside. Going to try and go for the switch back on the exit. Bomber Pros managed to get past Sally Dennis. He's up the inside of Morg as well. Through the middle sector here. Trying to go around the outside now. Can't quite find a way through. Sally Dennis down a position. As Neon's pulled an 8/10 gap to Ferry up front, as Diamond Miner immediately trying to put pressure now on his teammate for second place. As he's gained a lot of positions very quickly, considering he was hung out to dry initially on that safety car. Throw was the big loser out of all that in that top 2 battle. But Neon's almost broken his second 2 OP Ferry. As we got Sally Dennis trying to put pressure back on Bumble Pro. And Morg now trying to get past the F1 Easton into the chicane, but it's too far back to look for a dive. They all go very wide through there. Brushy Pancake almost off the track. Morgan now at the inside of Easton. There's contact. He's in the wall. He's lost his front wing. Easton is in the pits as well. He's got front wing damage. No VSC or safety car at this stage, but Easton looked like he moved across on him. Might have not even known he was there, and that might be the end of Morg's race. With needing that new front wing.
Yeah, so very unlucky there to be there's some contact once more. But Neon Lopo, we saw a couple of drives how he went off track. Neon also did, so he lost a bit of time to the Aston Martin's behind. But Ferry is really struggling right now, as his teammate of Diamond Miner. It's going to go up the inside into turn 5, and then into turn 7, tries to get the switch back. But he can't do anything about it, as Diamond Miner just has to sit behind, as his teammate defends well. But Ferry goes into the wall. This is going to allow Diamond Miner to try and get a bit back on him. I think there's a bit more damage as well on the front wing of someone. Diamond Miner takes P2, but has Ferry got damage? I'm not 100% sure. I can't see it from the camera angle I've been given, but there seems to be a massive struggle from the Alpine. Who's going to get sent up the inside by Sally Dennis? That's an absolutely bolting by the McLaren. Amazing job by Salia as we go. He jumps into the final podium spot. Ferry, it seems to be a bit of a cork in the bowl right now.
Yeah, he has got damage.
Round sector 3.
He's missing his right. He's missing his right end plate, and that's going to have the whole feel on him now. The spray really starting to kick up. I've got the pixelation glitch that was introduced this week, so that's going to be annoying. So Neon now has. Oh, we've got Jelmer off the track in the middle sector. Bomber Pro now trying to go on the outside, around the outside of him. I'll have to cut back into the main straight. Makes a bit of contact there, lucky not to spin. But Neon now is the one in control. He's got 1.5 seconds ahead. Diamond Miner, who's under heavy pressure from Sally Dennis. He looks up the inside through turn 3 into turn 4 now. Will he have a look around the outside down towards turn 5? Is the back end a little bit, goes very sideways there. But now we'll have the slip sheen down towards turn 7 through turn 6 to go now. Very small kinks to right up the inside into turn 7 now. Can he get up the inside of the Aston Martin? Will he push him off track? It's a bit sideways here. There's a car off in the back. I can't quite see who that was, but Sally Dennis is up to 2nd place. That's being the wall.
Neon's in the wall. Neon's in the wall.
Neon won the wall. Neon in the walls, lost loads of places. Has lost the entire left side of his front wing. And from hero to 0 for Neon, who's also got a penalty. And Sally Dennis now leads the race after being put in the wall, which caused the initial safety car. He now leads, and the rain is definitely heavy now. We might be looking at a switch to full wets.
Yeah, absolutely. There's cars everywhere. There's a send by the Haas on the inside into the hairpin on the Mercedes Brushy Pancakes. He tries to make a move, but Dornax is now coming at him as well. As he's going to go 3 wide into the neck right
doesn't wide. Brushy Pancake now has the switchback. He's going to try and go alongside him on the straight. Battery on. The RB in the back and still here, but Bomber Pro just about staying ahead as Dornax tries to go round the outside of Brushy Pancakes. There's an Alpine off the track. That's Neon again. Dornax, can he get past? No, he has got past Brushy Pancake, but they've lost time. Bomber Pro has a car off track again. It's Ferry, who's now under pressure from Bomber Pro as they head down the straight. The rain flying down from sideways there as down the inside goes Bomber Pro, pushes Ferry off the track. Mercedes off as well, Brushy Pancake. He's almost put Ferry in the wall there. Sally Dennis is pitted for wets. And so's Neon. So they're taking a gamble on the wet tyres as the rain buckets down. They look like they're struggling for grip on the Inters.
Yeah, the Mercedes now of Brushy Pancakes is making a move. Was making a move on Dornax, but unfortunately for him, I believe had a bit of an error. He goes deep into the next corners. The Ferrari and Aston Martin of Spinders and Ferry behind are fighting as they go side by side. No, unfortunately for Aston Martin, he's going to lose out once more because he's looked too tropic and he's dropped down from P6 to P8. The man, Ferry was P2 only a laps ago. 6 positions lost. He's really struggling, especially now he's damaged. So unfortunately, Aston Martin does not have the pace at this time. A lot of drivers are struggling for grip as we look to go to wet weather tyres for a couple drivers. Sally Dennis, there's the Red Bull in the wall. Tropic has spun round. He resets the track, but he has front wing damage now, and that's surely going to have to come into the pit for a set of wet. We're going to have not Brushy Pancakes, Bumble going to go side by side for the final podium place as he go into just chicane. Dornax tries to make a move around the outside, doesn't make it stick, and unfortunately has to sit behind the Haas one. As we head down towards the final corner, the back end of Dornax is a bit everywhere. Bumble more so as we head down the main straight now. Does Dornax make a move, try and make a move into turn 1? No, he doesn't. He sits behind just that little bit longer. Bumble goes a bit wide. Dornax just has to sit behind and watch as he cannot find a way by. What can RB do? Get to that final podium spot as Bumble has up and down more time. A lot of dice this way. Dornax's back end goes extremely round, almost goes round entirely as he loses time there. As unfortunately, will not be able to make a move down what would be a DRS straight that weren't raining.
Yeah, you've got Sally Dennis on the wet tyres. He's also got front wing damage, missing a left end plate. At the moment, Diamond Miner leads the race from Jelma by 1.5 seconds. Bomber Pro 3 seconds behind, still in the fight with Donax. Bushy Pancake and Spinners are just separated by 2/10 here. So will Spinners have a look into the sling or the hairpin? We'll have a look now. He's set right behind him here, looking ready to pounce in case Bushy Pancake makes a mistake. He's dropped back a few tenths to the side and gets past Tropic. So the wet tyres are working, but is it enough to catch back up to the field in the remaining 10 laps we have? As now Ferry trying to pull out the slipstream of Spinners to cool his tyres. Big lock up there into at the end of the straight. Bush Pancakes extended the gap slightly. Dorlax has dropped off Bombal Pro, and now it all calms down for a little bit. We'll start to separate out as Jelma. Jelma though is catching up here. Diamond I think's made a mistake at the last corner. He's lost half a second. So as they come into the first 3 corners here, Jelma sees his chance to take the win. He's on much newer intermediate tyres. He does though, however, have a penalty of 3 seconds to track limits, which might affect him later on. Sally Dennis is flying along on those wet tyres. He's catching half a second nearly every corner at the moment. As here comes Jelman out the inside of the Aston Martin into turn 7. Can he make the move? Sticky pushes Diamond Miner out wide into turn 8 now. Can he go around the outside? Does Diamond Miner just does leave him the space? Now the inside line into turn 9, and Jelma does take the lead from Diamond Miner, who's suddenly made a big mistake. He makes another mistake there, coming out of turn 9 into the sling, and that is now the Red Bull leading the way from Diamond Miner. The rain continuing to fall rapidly here as Sally Dennis continues to make flying progress through. Got the gap round of just under to 2 seconds now to Ferry, who's not even that far behind Spinners, and that's with damage as well. So that shows the pace of the wet tyres, and surely we'll be seeing more coming in with the pace he has at the moment. Or do they just have to stick it out now?
Yeah, and that's going very wide there. Sally Dennis takes the opportunity and flies through. That's P7 for the McLaren. But at this point, yeah, you've really just got to take the it's when do you just box and just get Ferrari out wide as well, or spin them. So do you just box now? I know you lose positions to Sally Dennis and a couple others, but you could lose the whole race worth of points here if you stick it out too long on those inters with no grip. So, and Sally Dennis is catching at an absolute rate of knots. Who else is actually on the inters? It is Neon only. He's got back.
Yeah.
So yeah. So really, only losing to Sally Dennis at this time. If you're one of the front runners, but Sally Dennis is absolutely flying right now. As we head down the back straight, he's caught up to Spinders. Dornax has made a move for P3. But can Sally Dennis get past Spinders as quickly as possible? He goes wide, loses his back end now, and cannot get the grip on that. Yeah, he's right on the back. He's pushing him through that corner just to try and get by. Gets the traction, but he's going to go side by side into this next corner before the single course thing. And now he gets 4P6 and he's right behind Brushy Pancakes. This is hurting his time, but he still has 8 laps to get by.
Yeah, he's still pretty much gaining about 2 seconds a lap, which is more than enough for Yale to get past him. He's not that far off the lead. At this stage, you can see on the ground, he's only 9 seconds off the lead at this stage. He goes right by Mercedes, almost rear ends the Mercedes of Brushy Pancake. And now we have the battery to use again down the next straight. Goes right over to the right side of the track, up the inside of Brushy Pancake. He is up into 5th place. And now with 8 laps to go, he has an 8.5 second gap to catch up to Jelma and Diamond Miner to be able to retake his spot at the front and win this race. He's got 20% battery to do it. But that shouldn't be too much of a problem at this stage. He'll be able to regain that back in the next few laps as he catches up. Meanwhile, Bomber Pro putting the pressure back on Dornax to try and retake 3rd place and what for the moment is the final podium spot. But I suspect Sally Dennis might have something to say about that in the next few laps.
Yeah, absolutely. I've noticed as well is that even though it's still very much full wet track conditions, the rain has slightly lightened up in terms of how much is coming down. So we may see towards the end of the race that the wets not being as effective as they have been at this stage. Callis knows he needs to just get on with this and take his tyre advantage and take the advantage he has right now as much as he possibly can, because he is catching at such a significant rate by a good couple of seconds a lap to the leader. Only it's now 6.6. That's ridiculous. That's an 11-second gap just completely dismantled by the McLaren. And he's still, yes, he's got 4 drivers to get by, but at the pace he's going, he's going to drive past them like they're F2 cars.
Yeah, there he is now. He's 8 tenths behind Bomber Pro. He's dropped out of a second as Sally Dennis will lose the benefits of the slipstream. Sally Dennis will be a lot quicker through the corners. You can see the gains he's making through the chicane now, and Bomber Pro is going to be under a lot of pressure here as they come through the first 2 corners. The last thing at the moment Sally Dennis wants is a penalty, but at the moment he's doing a good job at avoiding that. Into the first 3 corners we go now. Sally Dennis right behind Bomber Pro. He's got 7 laps to go. The question is, can he get past his Bomber Pro all over with the rear end? Down towards turn 5. And here he comes now. He'll have the run on the straight. He's managed to regain the battery up to 70%. He activates overtake. Goes alongside the Haas. And is past the Haas through turn 6 already. And into turn 7 now. He's already well ahead before the corner. And now he's just 6 seconds off the lead. Dornax is the next car off. And this is just for a podium. He's already got it due to Dornax's penalty. And that's all this with damage is mighty impressive. He almost slammed the wall there actually. But he now has a 2-second gap up to Dornax, who is 1.7 behind Darren Miner. As Jelmer's found extra pace in these wet conditions. He's come out of nowhere to be leading this race. You can see here he's gained 14 positions. He started at the back of the field and is now leading the race and controlling the pace, but Sally Dennis is gaining on him rapidly. The gap to the leader at the moment is 4.7 seconds. He's catching Dornax already. He's gained about half a second so far on this lap. Watch him here, see how much better the grip is. He looks a lot more stable through the corners. But Dornax at the same time is catching Diamond Miner, which might get in the way of Sally Dennis' progress if he isn't able to get around him easily.
Yeah, it absolutely is. Diamond Miner, Dornax are not easy people to pass. As we've seen this race, they're very good at the fence. So we're going to have whether Sally Dennis can just get by as quickly as possible. He still has that tyre advantage. He's got a 3-second time penalty. So that evens things up in terms of Yelma and Dornax. But Diamond Miner now has a bit of a now is going to be able to get back into this race with the penalties if he doesn't get one himself. So it'll be interesting to see whether Diamond Miner manages to keep a clean sheet, whether he also gets the penalty. Sally Dennis now has another 3 seconds on top of that of Diamond Miner to get past him with 5 laps to go, 5-6 laps to go.
Yep.
It's certainly possible.
And his progress has stalled slightly. He's stuck about 2 seconds behind Dornax. He's managed to get into the slipstream of Diamond Miner, who's nice to get into the slipstream again of Jelma. So Diamond Miner is sitting pretty at the moment in second place, net first with the penalties around him. Sally Dennis currently net 4th, Dornax currently 3rd. Jelma will be in second at this stage, as Darks has got right up behind Diamond Miners. Neon picks up a penalty in 11th. So it's still a 4-car battle for lead, because now Sally Dennis has to not only get to the front, he then has to break away from these three. Still gaining on them at the moment. It's only by just over a tenth on this lap. As Donax right up behind Diamond Miner into turn 1. Cuts the corner massively there. Looking to get away with a warning for that one. He's now trying to look for a better exit out the corner. He knew he does get that. He's only a tenth behind. Less than a tenth now as they come into turn 4, but not close enough at this stage. Now will he activate overtake? He does activate overtake. He's going up the inside of Diamond Miner into turn 7. Can he make the move stick? He does, up the inside, and that's helped both of them. They've not lost too much time to this, but Salidas is now right there. He's half a second behind, and now it seems to have found the grip again. So Jelma leads by 1.2 seconds on Diamond Miner. Sally Dennis just behind the two following of Donax and Diamond Miner as they come into the middle sector now. Who is going to win this race is the question. It could go anyway at this stage.
Yeah, all drivers will have a chance at this race win. Sally Dennis's progress seems to have stalled a little bit because the race has lightened up. He is still capturing these guys, but also he might have burnt through his tyres a lot quicker. Diamond Miner has got the oldest tyres of the lot, I do believe. Yeah, he does by a couple laps. So he certainly is going to be feeling the effects of tyre wear by now. Be careful. Be careful if he's not in the territory by the end of this race. But the Aston Martin still looking the strongest of the four due to him not having a penalty quite yet. So if these two ahead of him, of Yelmer and Dornack, start fighting heavily, and Salia Dennis cannot get past them all, it seems like Diamond Miner might have this in the bag, but we still have 4 laps to go, and been an absolutely eventful race. Dornack is now trying to make a move for first on Yelmer, whose pace has been absolutely phenomenal as it's gotten wetter, but as it's gotten a little bit drier now, and the rain has slightly slowed down, has not had as much speed as what he once had. As he goes down the inside, goes Dornax into turn 6. As he tries to make the Yelmer managed to do an absolute amazing defence through there, and Dornax has to settle behind once more.
Yeah, we got Diamond Miner, who's still currently in the net lead, but Solidaris' pace is starting to drop as the drier line starts to form. But Diamond Miner is happy to just sit there. He doesn't need to get involved in this fight. He just needs to make sure he stays within 3 seconds of them both. At the moment, he's only 1.2 seconds behind the lead. So, net race leader at the moment, but German Darks still fighting out for what will be second place at the moment. Darks not able close enough at the end of this straight, but gets a good run through the corner. Gains 2/10, which might give him a run onto the far straight A, using the battery in the slipstream of Jelmer into the foul chicane. Is he close enough? Not at this stage. He thinks about up inside. The side's against it. Now we'll look for the switch back out the corner. He's up the inside into the final 2 corners. He has to get sideways a bit and has to back off. So Dennis has stalled in 4th place. That looks like as far as he is getting. He can't get close enough to Diamond Miner. As now Dornax still following through the first few corners. Jelmer trying to break away from Diamond Miner. He's 1.3 seconds ahead. He needs more time as Dornax picks up another penalty. And that's now 6 seconds for him. So that puts Sally Dennis up into the podium. Places Neon is hit the wall. And it looks like he's lost his front wing at the hairpin. No safety car, no VSC actually. It's probably too late for one now. As Dornax will try and put pressure on again. A massive cut of that corner. It's no wonder he's got 2 penalties. Diamond Miner is still sitting in 3rd, but has the oldest tyres as well. So we can't see the tyre, but they might be starting to drop off as Spinners and Morgan in a heavy tussle for 7th place here. Morg's lost half of his front wing. That's it. As Jelmer's lost the lead the minute I cut away. Neon's retired in the pit lane. Jelma down to second place. Not sure. I missed what happened, but Dornax now has the lead. But with 6 seconds of penalties.
He absolutely set down the inside of the hair. He taking a lost gap. He's got an extra 3 seconds worth of pens now. He knew he needed to get past Yelma as quickly as possible. Sent the move. Yelma left him space, and that has been
got a collision.
Easton, who is in the wall. Easton's in the wall as well.
You look like he made contact with someone. Morg's been missing half a front wing, so he might have been involved in it. Lots of cars at the back starting to miss parts of their cars. We got 2 laps to go in this race. Ferry picks up a penalty. Darman's not had the best licks of the Salidaris now all over the back of him. This Darman is sliding all over the place on those old tyres. Bumble Pro picks up a penalty in 5th place. His position should be safe. Bushy Pancakes is 7 seconds behind. Now can Salidaris make his way up the inside of Diamond Man in the straights, too far back to make a lunge. He'll be more confident on the wet tyres, but he'll be starting to overheat on that dry track. Ferry is crashed out in the middle sector, and Salidaris is too far back to make a move at this stage. Diamond Man, Jelma and Dornax. Jelma specifically needs Salidaris to try and hold him up as Dornax picks up another penalty. 9 seconds now, and that will demote him all the way down to P5 now with that.
Yeah, that's absolutely disastrous for the RB there. I've just had a quick look through Diamond Miner's warnings. I believe he only has 1, so he's in a very good position right now. If he could just hold on to the back of Yelma, because at the moment, Dornax is going to definitely not win this race unless something miraculous for him. But we're going to get another penalty for Dornax. He's completely ruined his now. 12 seconds worth of pens. He might even drop brakes at this stage. So at this point, it's now Yelma versus Diamond Miner versus Salia Dennis for the lead. They're battling for P2, but whatever will be, it'll be promotion to the lead. Diamond Miner is desperately trying to hang on right now in the final lap of the race to the Yelma, who got 3 seconds of time penalty. He's got 1.1 second gap. Salia Dennis is trying absolutely everything to get past the Atomite, who's on thin ice in terms of high life, and at the moment he's just about hanging on. He's been those cars since before the rain even came. And Salia Dennis is back wide, so that's allowed the Atomite of Diamond Miner a little bit more breathing room. But he needs to keep within another 1.5 seconds, otherwise Yelma will take victory.
Yeah, he's looking favourite at the moment here, unless he makes another big mistake like that, but he's already gained back 2 tenths. Gap down to 3 tenths now, 1.1 even. He's keeping with him extremely well here. As into the hairpin they go for the final time. Diamond Miner currently in the net lead unless he messes up somewhere in this final sector. I can't see it though at this stage. And he is doing everything right that he can and has driven brilliantly. Jelma from the back of the grid tried his utmost to get the win, but in the end Dornax rounds the final corner. He will win on track. Jelma will finish second on track, but it's Diamond Miner third on the track as someone's gone off at the final corner. No, they haven't. That's an Alpine on, but it's Diamond Miner in the Aston Martin who wins round 3 here in Singapore. Brilliantly driven throughout the conditions, nurses into through the heavy rain to keep Salia Dennis behind. Jelma will finish in second, Salia Dennis in third. A good recovery after crashing out halfway through the race. Bumble Pro, who was fighting for the win earlier, is fourth. Dornax just stays in fifth with those penalties. Bushy Pancake in 6th, Morg in 7th, Spindares 8th, Eastern 9th, and Tropic will be the last one over the line to finish in 10th place. What a race.
Absolutely chaotic, but in a good way in a sense, because we had a lot of fights, a lot of battling, a bit of chaos involved, and rain really played a factor in this race. I had a quick look before the race ended that Diamond Miner had been on those inters for 20 laps. That's very lucky not to get a puncture, considering that he was on before the rain even started. So that's a very good job from the Aston Martin, who took victory. Yelmer had an absolute phenomenal drive. Salia Dennis came back very nicely on those full wet tyres to fight the final podium spot. Absolutely phenomenal race. Very good driving from everyone around, especially in that top three. And yeah, I hope these guys, Diamond Miner enjoys that win because he certainly deserved it.
Yeah, it was one of the most chaotic races I've watched in a while, but it is Diamond Miner, the Scotsman, who comes out on top ahead of Joma, who, despite a brilliant fight back, has to settle for second place. Not almost all drivers with penalties, but Diamond Miner, who picked up one warning for the entire race, was very impressive. So, Diamond Miner, Joma, Dennis on the podium, Normal Pro 4. Donax 5th, Bushy Pancakes 6th, Morg 7th, Spinders 8th, Eastern 9th, Tropic in 10th, so that means another no point score for Neon. Diamond Miner, see what that does to the championship based on the provisional results here. Diamond Miner, just having a look now, that puts him up to 25 points. That puts him just behind Neon in the standings. And not sure who's the leader. That was Pedro, but he's not here. So in the end, I think Pedro will hang on to the lead in the standings. I don't think anyone scored high enough to overtake him from where they were.
I believe everyone 15 points for Salia Dennis. Yeah, that wouldn't be enough. He was the highest placed championship person to fight him. So he would be a couple points behind. So Pedro retains the lead and ahead of Salia Dennis, who will be in P2 now, I believe. And Brushy Pancakes will take P3, I believe now.
Yep, so that is the end for us here. I don't think any of the front runners will probably want to do interviews since of how long that race was and how late it is. So we will end it there. Thank you very much for watching this. Any clips from the stream you can cycle back through at any time if you want to remove any warnings or look at any incidents we captured. If not, feel free to use it in POVs. And we'll see you all next time. Goodbye.